Hi, good to see you. One second.
Yeah.
Not in the plan?
I don't know if you're committing to the camera space.
No. Anywhere you want. We're gonna move towards Twisted Half Moon.
Okay, nice.
So we'll do a little twist, lunges, standing twist, and then twist, and then here. I think there's not too much to know, but if there is, but otherwise, we continue. I did it yesterday, and it felt nice. And then we're gonna end with, some sort of supported foot bench. I should look at that. Yeah. And there's more people today because I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's better to end the emotional turmoil now.
Then drag it out later. Hi.
So this is super embarrassing.
Yeah.
Strained or something, did something to my adductor getting into my car.
Oh my goodness.
So
How's it feeling now?
I've rested it for like 2 weeks. It's still
so
bothering
painful.
me. So
Which
like
side?
my right side,
Yeah.
like right here. So if I bail on things,
Please bail as much as
it's
you want
because
to.
it's bothering me. It's just mostly when I do anything where I have to like turn my right leg out. So like Baddha-Konasana, like
We're gonna
pigeon
we're gonna do a
on the
bunch of
right leg.
twists today.
Those should all be fine.
But if anything
but,
feels
like,
like achy or
And
incorrect,
sometimes I don't know what's gonna bother it, so I'll go into something and I'm just like, nope,
Yeah.
and then I have to stop.
has anything besides rest made it feel better?
No.
Okay.
Like, it's really weird because like it doesn't bother me. Like it doesn't bother me right now.
Sure.
It's just
Even
like
in this, bouncing your toes.
no. But if it was like Molasses, that would bother me. Like my legs turn out. So it's just like very specific movements. It's just like a very annoying thing.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed by it.
Whenever we're lying on our backs, or if you want to rest, do the lying on your back with your knees knocking in this way.
Yeah.
So it'll let the outer leg
Yeah.
soften. Like take that at any point, lay on your belly at any point.
Yeah.
We're gonna end in supported bridge, supported heart bench. So if that doesn't feel good, like the angle when you're here, you can do the knees knocking into each other. But Kayla's gonna practice in that, and I'm gonna walk around. So if anything feels tweaky, just like flag me over, and we can find something else.
Yeah, it's just I'm so
I'm
annoyed.
so sorry.
I'm
It's
so annoyed by it because it's like, and it really because it doesn't bother me like walking around, unless I like do like a weird movement and then I'm like, it's just
Yeah.
like I haven't seen a
Have you had
doctor
this
yet.
before?
No, and I like was talking to my dad a little bit about it, but I haven't like
What
seen
did
a
he
doctor.
say?
I said to start rolling it.
Oh yeah.
He said to rest it,
Yeah.
and then the rest didn't help. So
Yeah.
then,
Do you have a bathtub? Do you do Epsom salt baths? Okay.
but he
Or
said
like
to,
arnica?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, but he said to like roll it, and then if that doesn't help,
Doctor.
doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, thanks for telling me. Yeah. I hope nothing tweaks it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bless you. We'll start in a couple minutes, y'all. We're waiting on some folks, but we'll use all the props today. So take your time to grab anything that you need. Definitely a strap, which are over here, and therapy balls, which are to your left. 2 blocks and a blanket, because we'll do some stuff with our knees down and end in a very supported pose with all the props. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. Oh my goodness. He was, oh man. And now every time I tell Mariel about it, she's like, why isn't he doing it? I'm like, I just can't. Did you come to the yoga and cello class, or were you in India? You weren't there. This is, Kale did the cello. Yeah. And so she was just saying how the concert looked very sweet on Sunday.
Maybe one day we can both collaborate.
Yeah.
That would be really fun. I would love that. You let me know.
He's back in April, so we have time.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Yeah, but it was very sweet. They got through so much in an hour. They did what is classical Indian music? What is a beat? What is a rhythm? What is folk music? What's Hollywood and Bollywood music? And then he sang, yeah. And then he sang Elvis and then translated it into a Bollywood song. It was painfully cute and really, really good. It's on YouTube Live.
All right.
What?
At 90 degrees, that's what we're doing.
Oh yeah, rotated.
You should never do live like this.
Yes, yeah.
So you have to watch it like this.
You have to do yoga while watching.
Okay, let's see. We're technically waiting on 3 more, but there's plenty of room for everyone to find their way in. I think back row's got some space, but I think we have room for everyone. It's good to see you all. It was quiet last week when the sports were happening, but it's nice. If you were watching those, I'm sorry. But if you weren't, glad you're here. For those of us that are new to one another, my name is Anisha. It's really nice to be with you all. And we're so lucky each week to have Kale with us, who graduated teacher training this past year. And the way that it'll be is Kale practice from the mat so folks at home can have a visual. I'll be walking around the room and teaching. But if you have any questions at all, if you need anything, call one of us over and we're more than happy to help. And if anyone needs any props, we'll use them all today. So strap, therapy balls, blanket, blocks, all the good stuff. Anyone see the moon? It's not full yet, right? 17th? What day is it? Okay, today's the 15th. I was like, what month am I in? 17th. Okay, we got a couple more days of it. All right, let me check to see. Okay, well, we're in the 3rd week, and there's 2 more weeks of some storytelling and mythology, but for the whole month of October, I've been sharing stories of the goddess whose holiday we celebrated just last week, and the holiday finished on Sunday. So the holiday is called Navratri. It's the 9-night and 9-day celebration of the goddess herself. And when I talk about the goddess, you'll hear me talk about individual characters and manifestations of her. But to back it up for a moment, the studio is named after not only 3 queens, but also the 3 main deities in the yogic tradition. There's Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and knowledge. There's Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. And then there's Durga, the one we'll talk about today, who's the great mother or the warrior goddess. So they're all individuals. They're all goddesses who have their own stories and avatars. But they're all representations of this energy that exists around us. So the world that we live in and the world that these stories are surrounded in is made up of an infinite amount of energies. And there's the divine masculine energy, and that's the representation of Shiva, who we talk about in March, because that's when his birthday and holiday comes up. And then there's divine feminine energy, and each and every one of us has both energies and so many more in between that exist in different variations that make us each who we are. So when I talk about this goddess today, it's this energy that exists in the world around us. And today's story starts off a little bit on the tail end of last week. So if you missed last week's, no big deal. There's a quick catch up that we'll get to. But last week, the story ended where this week's story begins, in the middle of a battlefield. and some great demons, an entire army has been defeated. And these goddesses are here in the middle of the battlefield. And so there's Parvati, the goddess of the householder. If we remember, she's the one that looks most like us, with 2 arms, with clothes that look like clothes that we would wear normally. Her second avatar that she comes up into is Durga, the warrior goddess, the one who rides on the back of a lion or a tiger with 10 arms, each holding a different piece of weaponry. And then she transforms into Kali, the ferocious, the one who has the necklace of 1,000 skulls. Her hair is always out, her tongue is always rolling out of her mouth, and she represents this unbridled energy that lives in each and every one of us at any given point. So they all are here on the battlefield itself, and this new demonic army starts to emerge. And as the demonic army starts to emerge, these 3 goddesses quickly start to take over, consume and digest and destroy. But what they notice is that there's an even greater demon, one that they have never seen before, and his name is Rakta Bija. So the name stands for Rakta, the first part means blood, the second part means seed. And so his demonic power is that for every 1 drop of his blood that's spilled, another 1,000 demons begin to emerge. So all of their strategies of trying to defeat these demons aren't working anymore, because every time they provoke him or initiate contact with him, he becomes even stronger. And so the story goes, it's such a beautiful description of how they start to manifest with one another. Each one of these divine masculine energies has a corresponding divine feminine energy. So you start to see Brahma, the great god of creation, he transforms into his feminine divine, and he becomes Brahmani. And she rides in the heavens on the back of swans, starting to encircle this entire demonic army. There's Vishnu, who's the god of preservation, and he turns into his feminine divine, Vaishnavi, and she rides onto the battlefield on the back of a buffalo. And like this, thousands of divine feminine energies start to encircle the battlefield itself. And very quickly, they begin to take over this entire demonic army. And then what they realize is that Kali is the only one who can come help save the day. And I'll tell you why I'm telling you this story in a moment. But she's the only one who can save the day. And so what she decides to do, if we remember, her tongue is always out of her mouth. She rolls out her entire tongue. And I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again, but if you've ever had those fruit roll-up, fruit by the foot is the square one. Fruit roll-ups is the long. Fruit by the foot is long. Okay. Think of those long candies if you had them. I wasn't allowed to have them as a child, but I distinctly remember them. She essentially rolls out her entire tongue and starts to lap up every drop of blood that this demon is spilling so that no new demons can emerge. And then very quickly, Durga comes and slays the final blow to defeat this monstrous demon. And as he's dying, he says and looks at them, he says, "Oh, there's no power in your victory. You did this with so many other people. Like, you can't take any of this as your own." And she goes, "It's not true. You may see an infinite version of me, but in fact, I am only one singular form." And then all of the goddesses start to emerge, and they go back into Durga's forehead, and he sees all of these energies coming back into one as he starts to lay down onto the battlefield. So, and next week I tell you what happens later. But, why am I telling you this story now on a Tuesday evening in Philadelphia in 2024? One, the great reason is you can take this story just as like a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, right? Like something that's not of this world, something that spawns your imagination even more than what you could have dreamed it to be. But 2, mythology and these stories, they're told in service of finding deeper truths. They're told in service of finding morals and connections that exist to our daily life. And so a few things that happen in this story. 1, demons don't necessarily look like these monstrous demons that every drop of blood that's spilled, a new 1,000 demons emerge. But if you ever think of things that go wrong in your life, inconveniences, frustrations, they often compound. They often take tolls, and they can start to avalanche into one another. But the story of Durga continuously reminds us that not only do you have everything that you need already, she has infinite versions of herself. She is the householder, she is the warrior, She is the ferocious and all of these divine energies. She has everything that she needs in order to defeat the demons that she has. And she also has every single person around her. She doesn't defeat the demon alone. And so as we move into our practice today, we're going towards a few of my demonic poses, the poses that I always tend to avoid or ignore or only do once a year. Asterisks, my demon poses might not be your demon poses. They might be poses that you love and that find more space in your body. But the reminder is that even when facing seemingly demonic poses, you have every single version of yourself already. There's the you that you know so well that's brought you to where you are. There's the you that you're still making space for, that you don't even know yet, but still exists. And they all start to emerge in any given moment that you need. So the practice today is in reverence to the demons that exist all around us, but we give ourselves the time to just see what it feels like to experience versions of yourself that you haven't noticed yet. But take breaks, sip water, lay down as long as you'd like. We're going to be twisting until the night is long. Twists and twists and twists to hopefully find a little more space. But I'll turn the fans up as we start to move about. Rest as needed and when needed, because the beauty of this practice is it's not just today, it's not just tomorrow, but we got lifetimes to try this out, the next and the next and the next. So we'll get started today lying on our backs, if you wouldn't mind. Can you have your heads up towards me and your feet towards the wall behind you? Have one of your straps, or a strap close by, because we'll use it as we start to move about. And if anyone needs it, I can bring them over to you. But have it just placed off to the side in any way, shape, or form. Come to lie on your back and get as comfortable as you possibly can. So you might lay down more in that Shavasana shape. If you're feeling anything in your hips or in your low back, you might have your knees bent, feet as wide as your mat as you knock your knees into each other. But let your arms fall alongside of you or on your person. And with your eyes softly closed or softly open, begin to listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us a moment to see ourselves more clearly than before. To let each breath gently dissolve the day and afternoon that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes a little more space for what has yet to come. So as you take this time to continue to notice your breath, just see where it likes to be, where it likes to fall, where it likes to hover. And the more you notice your breath, can you see how your breath notices you? Let each inhale move from your nose, down into your belly, and up into your heart. And as you exhale, let the breath go up and out through every fiber of your being. Continue with a few more rounds of that same breath, just at your pace. Letting each inhale move in, down, and wide. And each exhale offers itself up and out. Take this time to breathe, not just into the front of your body, all of those parts touching the air above you, but can you send your breath into the back of your body, all of those points connected to the earth? And as you take another round of that three-dimensional breath, breathe into the belly, the sides of your waist, the back of your heart. Let your exhale offer itself out through every fiber of your being. Let's start our practice and our time here together with 3 more rounds of that same breath. So wait for your next inhale as it fills you up completely. And exhale to let all of that breath go. 2 more times, just on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that you feel when you listen for and really remember your breath. And now, keeping that connection as best as you can, gently blink your eyes open and let's all bend the knees as you bring both feet heavy onto the earth. Give your right leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Make some small circles with that right foot or ankle. You can spread the right toes and point the toes. And just notice what you feel at the bottom of the right foot. And now as you draw your right ankle back through center, find your strap and interlace it underneath the sole or ball of your right foot. Give yourself enough slack on the strap so that your elbows can touch the floor on either side of your body. And as you soften the elbows to the ground, shrug your shoulders to your ears and wiggle those shoulder blades together to let the back of your heart get heavy to the earth. Take a big breath in. And if you haven't already, as you exhale, straighten your right heel up towards the sky into the strap. Can you gently soften the grip of your fingers around the strap? And as the back of your head gets heavier to the earth, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, straighten your left leg long out in front of you onto the earth. Now bring both edges of the strap into your left hand. Bring your right palm to the top of your right thigh. And as you give yourself a little pressure, press your right palm into your right leg. Let the right thigh move away from your belly. And then 1 inch at a time, begin to move the right foot over to the left, noticing any sensation you feel on the outside of your right leg. With your right palm on the top of your right thigh, gently give yourself some pressure. Push the thigh away from your belly as you shrug the right shoulder up and back. And can you peel the right pinky toes back and notice what you feel in the outer right leg? Take a bigger breath in. Even open your mouth to let that breath go. And now on your next inhale, draw the right leg back up through center. Soften your right knee and slip it out from the strap. You can drape the strap across your belly as you give the left leg a hug in towards your chest. Start with those circles in the left foot and ankle. We're going to spend a lot of time on the feet today. So just enjoy what it feels like to be off the feet, off the legs, and seeing what the sole of your left foot feels like. Now, after a few breaths, interlace your strap at the bottom of your left foot, behind the arch or the ball of your foot. Give yourself enough slack on the strap. Let both elbows touch the ground on either side of you. And then begin to straighten your left leg up towards the ceiling, noticing what you feel in the back of the left thigh. Gently shrug your shoulders to your ears. Snuggle the shoulder blades towards one another as you take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now straighten your right leg long out in front of you. Bring both edges of the strap into just your right hand and bring your left palm to the top of your left thigh or even into your left hip crease. Give yourself a little pressure. Press and move the left thigh away from your belly. And keeping that 1 inch at a time, move that left foot over to the right. We'll do this a few times today in class, so this doesn't have to be your most sensational version of this shape. But as you peel the left pinky toes back, take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out through every fiber of your being. Now on your next inhale, draw the left leg back up through center, slip it out from the strap. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And make some circles in one or the other direction. And notice what you feel from side to side. Now the next place we'll come to, we'll all meet in tabletop facing the front of the room. So however you'd like to come off of your back, you might roll forward and back or tip over onto one side. But find your way to hands and knees at the top of your mat. You might have your blocks framing out the front of your mat as we start to move about, but with your fingers spread wide, tuck or untuck your toes behind you And start to link breath and movement together through a few rounds of cat and cow, moving at your pace. Let's go for 5 or 6 breaths, just working on your own. Feel free to stay in the more rounded shape for a few breaths or in the arched shape. But see what it feels like to not just move your body independently, but how the breath that you have and the body that you're in can start to harmonize towards each other. You might even close or soften your eyes for these last few rounds. So you move from a place of less of what others are doing, what you think you should be doing, and more what your entire body and being desires. But take one more full round of breath in and a longer breath out. And as you make your way back to table, come to your hands and your knees. Walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Walk your knees back behind your hips. And as you tuck your toes under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time and as many breaths as you need to find your way there. In your down dog, you might pedal your heels one at a time from side to side. You might soften and straighten your legs simultaneously. But let it all be an offering to your breath, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. There's versions of yourself you know so well. Walk your feet in closer. There's versions of yourself that you're still making space for. And as you slow and steady your breath down, take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. You can have your hands up on blocks. You can have your feet a few inches wider. You might even soften your knees, all in service of giving yourself some more space. But as you bow in towards yourself, take a longer breath in and a steadier breath out through each fiber of your being. Now climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and a big inhale to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands by your sides. Wait for your next inhale as you reach the arms forward and up to get tall. On your exhale, soften your knees, hinge at your hips, and fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, hands to shins or blocks. And on your exhale, step it back to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. With your knees down or up, really feel those hands on the earth. Push down into the ground and think tailbone towards your heels as you reach your heart forward. Big breath in and exhale to bend your elbows to lower all the way down onto your belly. Wait for your inhale to rise. Cobra or baby cobra. Really hug the shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, we meet in downward facing dog or table or puppy for 3 slow, steady breaths. Let each breath in move from your nose into your belly. And as you exhale, push down and forward through your hands to lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. Wait for your next breath as it fills you up completely. And at the bottom of your exhale, lift the heels, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Let the heart grow longer. And exhale to keep that length as you fold and bow in. Take a breath in to rise. Stand down through your legs. Reach up, touch the sky, get a drop taller. And exhale to release. Let your hands come down. One more time. Really follow your breath more than my voice. As you inhale, the arms go up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Wait for your inhale to come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And on your exhale, step it back to plank. Take a full round of breath here. And as you exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Take the whole breath in to rise, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Really press the feet into the earth. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Take a long, sweet, slow breath in. And a steady, long exhale out. And on your next inhale from down dog, take your time, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Come high up onto your fingertips or blocks on either side of that right foot. And now with your left hand down, reach your right arm straight ahead towards the top of your mat, towards kale. As you stretch forward through the right fingertips, can you tack your right hip back and grow longer? Now big breath in. And as you exhale, we start to twist open to the right. Reach the right arm up as the belly revolves. Twice more with your breath. Reach the right arm back and then forward. Big breath in. Exhale to revolve, open to the right. One more time, take your breath. Inhale to reach long. And now as you exhale, stay twisting open to the right. Lift that left thigh higher up off the earth. Tack your right hip back and then lean back against the steadiness you've created. Big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Bend one more inch into that front thigh. And then inhale to unwind. Lower the right palm and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time. Notice what you feel and see from side to side. And now on your next breath, no rush, float the left leg to the sky. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Come high up onto your fingertips or high up on blocks on either side of that left foot. With your right hand down this time, reach the left arm straight ahead towards the front of the room. And as if someone's trying to hold your left hand and reach you longer, but you're resisting with your left hip, tack the left hip back. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, a big circle to open up to the left. Twice more with the breath as you inhale, bow in, grow longer. Follow your exhale to revolve. Notice what the shoulder, the wrist, the forearm feels like. And now the third time you twist open to the left, stay for a few breaths. Lift the right back thigh higher. Tack your front left hip back. And as you slide the shoulders back and the ears back, lean back against the steadiness that you've created for yourself. On your inhale, unwind. Lower the left palm. Step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels and notice any difference from one side to the other. Wait for your next inhale to come forward to plank pose. As you exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale to rise for cobra. Really hug the shoulder blades towards each other. Press your feet into the earth. And exhale to take it back to downward facing dog. Hips to the sky. Slow down the next breath in. And really offer the full exhale out. And now on your inhale, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the earth and come on up to rise for warrior two, facing the long edge of your mat. See that the right toes and the right knee are pointing in the same direction. And then walk your left foot back just an inch or two towards the back of your mat so you get a drop longer. Now as you bend into that right thigh, look away from the ground, reach out through the fingertips and listen for your breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Let the right thigh get heavier as the top of your head grows taller to the sky. Now inhale to just reach your arms up to the ceiling. Bend your right elbow, pat yourself on the back, and let your left fingertips hold on to the elbow. Think elbow to the sky. Gently press your head back to lift your chin. Can you slide the ribs back to steady the middle of your back as you press your head back? And now find the breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Bend into the right thigh as you guide your right knee open toward your pinky toes. And now release those arms out to a T. Press the right leg straight. Take a full breath to get longer. And as you exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right hand to your block or to the floor, in or outside of that front leg. That's it. As your left arm reaches to the sky or even comes to your left hip, feel both feet on the ground and give them a squeeze in towards each other. Really pull the right foot back and the left foot forward and feel the energy run up your legs into the hips. Now can you push down into that right hand, reach the left arm one more inch to touch the skylights overhead as you take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now on your inhale, look down, unwind, bring your hands to the earth and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time. Notice what you feel and see from one side to the other. And just a few more times together, wait for your inhale as you come to plank pose. Wait for your exhale as you lower all the way to your belly. Drink in your inhale to rise, cobra, hug the shoulder blades towards one another. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Slow, steady breath in to lift the left leg to the sky. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the earth, and on your inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 2 on the second side. As you check to see that the left knee and toes are pointing straight ahead, walk your right foot back an inch or two to get longer in your stance. And as you get longer, press through the right pinky toes, and now bend into that left knee and thigh. Look away from the ground, reach out through the arms as you take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into the left thigh. Now inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Bend your left elbow, pat yourself on the back, and let the right fingertips hold on. As you press your head back to lift your chin, slide the ribs back to steady the middle of your back. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, bend into the left thigh as you grow longer through the left elbow to the sky. And now release those arms out to a T. Press the left leg straight. Take a breath. Reach out through the fingertips. Trikonasana, left fingertips to your block or to the floor, in or outside of that front leg. As you soften the knees, a little bend in the knees so that they don't fully lock, feel both feet on the ground. And now hug your legs in towards each other. As you slide the ears back, can you lean back? Take a bigger breath in. And a longer breath out. Now on your inhale, unwind, release your hands back to the earth, plant your palms and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels, notice any difference within yourself, any subtle or drastic difference from one leg to the other. And then last time all together, inhale through to plank pose. As you exhale, lower all the way to your belly. We'll take a few extra breaths in cobra. So as you inhale, rise to lift your chest. Close or soften your eyes and listen for that breath. Can you press the tops of your feet down into the earth, especially the pinky toes? And as you imagine your legs growing longer towards the wall behind you, hug the shoulder blades together. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, release as you lower all the way back down to the ground. Hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, push the floor away from you, come up through to table or plank pose. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. There's versions of yourself that you know so well. They've brought you to where you are now. There's versions of yourself you're making space to become into, literal, physical space. So as you notice what you feel now from your first down dog until where we are, can you feel that thread of your breath, slow and steadying you down? At the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, to your standing forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Let the balls of your feet be heavy. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a long breath in to rise. Stand down through your legs, reach up, touch the sky. And on your exhale, release. Let your hands come down by your sides. All right, with your feet under your hips, we'll come in for a side stretch. Wait for the inhale to reach the arms forward and up. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Grow 1 inch taller through the right fingertips and then tip to the left for standing crescent. Your hips might sway off center over to the right, but as you tip to the left, can you slide the ribs back, slide the ears back to lift your chin, and maybe bring your arms back in line with your ears. And now inhale to come all the way back up through center. Take a breath as you switch your wrists, grab onto the left, grow 1 inch taller, and then tip up and over to the right for standing crescent on the second side. Let the weight of your hips move 1 inch or 2 to the left. And as you tip to the right, the ears go back to lift your chin so that there's space for breath to come through. Slide the ribs back to steady the middle of your back, and then maybe the arms come back in line with your ears. And now inhale to come all the way back up, touch the sky, get a drop taller, and on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. And now pivot your hands and feet to the left to face the long edge of your mat into your wide-legged forward fold. If it feels like there's going to be a butt really close to your head when you come up halfway, maybe you stagger slightly with your friends. One comes forward, one comes back. But before we lift up, tiny bend in your knees so that they're not locked. Hug your feet towards each other. And now as you inhale, come up halfway to lengthen, grow long. Keep your right hand down on a block or on the floor and bring your left palm to your low back. Shrug your left shoulder to your ear. Squeeze the left shoulder blade onto your spine, and from your belly button, start to twist towards the back of your mat. Now notice if you feel this in your inner right knee or in your inner right thigh. Can you lean your butt an inch or two more to the right towards the front of the room? Turn the belly and chest to the back of the room, and then slide the ears back to lean back as you take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale to offer that breath out. And now on your inhale, unwind, lower the left hand, turn the right knee and toes to catch your lunge. Bring your hands up onto blocks or fingertips on either side of that right foot. And now squeegee your left toes back another inch or two to the long edge of your mat. We're moving towards this modified pyramid pose. Push the right leg straight as you lengthen through the right thigh. Good. For this one, keep your left heel lifting higher up off the ground. And the higher you lift your back heel, the more space your hips will have room to move. So as you lift the back heel high, wrap your left hip forward and tack your right hip back towards the back of your mat. Now inhale to come up halfway to lengthen. You might come higher up onto your blocks. Keep your left hand down on the ground as your right palm comes to your low back. Shrug your right shoulder to your ear. Hug the right shoulder blade to your spine, and from your belly, start to twist towards the right for this version of revolved triangle. As you tack your right hip back, press your right big toe into the earth, and then can you gently lean back against yourself? Stay here, or maybe that right arm reaches up to the sky as you take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out through every fiber of your being. And now on your inhale, unwind, lower the hands back to the earth, bend your right knee, and step it forward into your forward fold. Left foot meets the right. I told you, twists, so many twists. We're halfway through, so notice what you feel from one side to the other. And let's do side two. Left foot forward, step your right foot back to catch your lunge. And now pivot your hands and feet to the right to come into that wide-legged forward fold, facing the other side of your mat. Watch for the butts in front of you. Hug your feet towards each other. And now inhale to come up halfway to lengthen. Can you reach your chest forward? Keep your left hand down. Bring your right palm to your low back. And when you shrug your right shoulder to your ear, you're getting very long through the right side of your body. Hug the right shoulder blade to your spine and start to twist towards the back of your mat. Now, because every part of you is connected to something else, your hips will want to sway with you to the right. Can you lean your butt more to the front of the room? Even if you untwist a little, that's okay. Hips go to the front of the room, belly twists to the back of the room, and then slide the ears back to lean back against yourself. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And on an inhale, unwind, lower the right palm. Turn the left knee and toes to catch your lunge. Come high up onto your fingertips or high up on blocks. And as you push your left leg straight, we move towards this modified pyramid pose. Good. As the back heel lifts higher up off the earth, can you wrap your back right hip forward? Nice, Carolina. Tack your left outer hip back. Hopefully you feel that more in the back of your left thigh. And now inhale to come up halfway to lengthen. Reach your heart forward. Keep your right hand down. Bring your left palm to your low back. Shrug the left shoulder to your ear. Squeeze the left shoulder blade to your spine. And from the depths of your belly, begin to turn your chest open to the left. As you wrap your front left hip back, press the left big toe down into the ground. You might feel the spiral of energy run up the left thigh. And then lean back against yourself. Stay here for the last breath. Maybe reach the left arm up as you take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale to unwind. Lower the hands to the ground. Bend your left knee and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal those heels. Notice what you feel and see. And now we meet on our bellies. You can lower your knees to the ground and slither to the floor. You can come through plank pose to lower down. But once you're down on the ground, make a pillow with your hands. Rest on your forehead or on one of your cheeks. And really listen for the full depth of your breath. We started lying on our backs, breathing into the back of your body. And as you lay here on your belly, can you breathe into all of those points touching the floor beneath you? Feel how the more you breathe into your belly, the more the low back broadens and expands. The more you breathe into your chest, the more the back of your heart expands. And if you're on a cheek or on one of your palms, just switch sides and take one more full 3-dimensional breath, breathing into every corner of your being. And now come back through center. Keep a pillow with your right hand. Let your forehead rest on your right palm. And for a thigh stretch on our bellies, bend your left knee and reach your left hand around for the left foot for this half frog variation. As you hold the pinky side edge of your left foot, feel both legs back behind you. And now hug your thighs towards each other. Hug the left thigh to the right and the right thigh to the left. As you draw your left heel towards your left tush, they don't have to be anywhere near each other. Can you shrug your left shoulder up and back? Take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now on your inhale, gently release the hold of your leg. Make a pillow with your left hand. Let your forehead or your cheek rest. Bend your right knee and reach your right hand around for the right foot or the ankle. Begin to draw the heel towards your tush. And then feel those thighs hug in towards each other. That'll clear some space through the low back. As you hug the right shoulder up and back, take a full breath in and a longer breath out through every direction of you. And now on your breath, release the hold of your leg. Bring your hands to either side of your chest and press yourself up through to tabletop. Come up to your hands and your knees. Sit back onto your heels, sip some water as needed, shake anything out. We're going to spend some time on the knees. You getting warmer? Okay, the fans are on. If you need it colder, let me know. But we'll get warm for a moment and then start to wind our way down as we start to work towards twists. So I mentioned, when we talk about demons in mythology, they all serve a purpose. Oftentimes we think, or I often thought of demons like this great demon, the one who's for every drop of blood that has spilled, another 1,000 demons would emerge. I was like, why would anyone have this great power? Why would anyone be given the autonomy to become even stronger than before? In one of the stories, Mariel always says, she's like, the demons are still doing the work. The demons are still doing their daily offerings. They're still doing their daily yoga in order to achieve the attention of the god. So it's not like they're laying complacent and just getting gifts for free. But the thing about the demons is that the less we pay attention to them, or the more we ignore them, the more they start to consume us, and the more they start to take over and become things that we avoid. So I'm mentioning that to you now because the next series of poses are my demons. So what a gift to have Kale practicing, and I can just show you. But we're moving towards twisted half moon, and twisted half moon with the thighs stretched. So we're trying to find lots of space in the outer hips. And just like Durga, the warrior goddess, I'm pointing over here because there's some phenomenal statues of her here. She had weaponry in all one of her hands. She held a trident, a discus, a bow and arrow, everything that she needed. We too have things. They don't look like weaponry, but they are. They're here to help us create more space than there might have been before. And oftentimes they make things harder than they are without props. So I mention this to you now because I invite you to use them to your advantage. They'll give you lots of space as we start to move about. So we'll try it on our hands and our knees, and then we'll do it not on our hands and our knees, and then we'll do it one more time and see where it takes us. So when you're ready, come onto all fours. We'll meet in tabletop. Feel free to have a blanket underneath your knees for some extra padding. And have your blocks close by. You might use them. But as you find your way to all fours, bring your hands as wide as your mat. I know some of us have wider mats than others, but just take up some extra space. Now tuck all 10 of your toes under, back behind you, and reach your right leg back towards the wall behind, with the right toes tucked under. As you reach back through the right heel for a calf stretch, can you slide the heart forward to grow longer? Take a big breath in, And a longer breath out. And now lift your right foot up off of the earth towards the sky. As you flex the foot, try to straighten your right knee. Now hug the right thigh an inch to the left to the middle of your mat and lift the right inner thigh up to the sky. Now bend your right knee, flex the foot like you could raise the roof with your right heel. You can stay here the whole time. Or to play with some asymmetry, you might come up onto your left fingertips. Maybe the left fingertips stay down, or with your right palm heavy, reach your right hand out and around to hold on to the left, or reach the left hand around to reach for the right foot. So right hand down, left hand reaches for the right foot. Look down to the ground to help with your balance, but hug the right thigh an inch to the left. Shrug the left shoulder up and back. And as you push your right foot back into your hand, lift the right heel to the sky and let that turn your belly and chest open to the left. Take one more breath in. Stay for the exhale. And on your inhale, release the hold of the leg. Lower hand and knee back to the floor and take it back to table. Anyone else's demon? Twisted half bow? No? Okay. You love it. See, that's what I mean. It's like someone's demon can be someone's dream. It's a delight to experience. What are your demons? Do you have a demon pose? Yeah, that's fair. My delight, but a demon for others. So let's try the other side. Come back to table. When your hands come as wide as your mat, it gives you more surface area to steady yourself. Tuck your toes under and come in for the calf stretch. Reach the left leg back, tuck the toes under and reach back through the heel and see what you feel in the back of the leg. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Can you slide your heart forward to grow longer in all four sides of your neck? Now lift the left foot up off of the earth. Straighten the knee, flex the foot. And as you wrap your left hip towards the earth, hug your left thigh an inch to the right. And now lift your left inner thigh to the sky. Now bend your left knee, flex the foot like you could raise the roof with your left heel. Tent up onto your right fingertips. There's so much to do here. Or as you lift the bottom ribs away from the ground, maybe your right hand reaches around to hold the left foot. Look down to help with your balance. Hug the left thigh an inch to the right, to the middle of your mat. Shrug the right shoulder up and back. And as you push your foot back into your hand, lift your left heel up. Let that turn your belly and chest open to the right. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale to release arm and leg back to the earth. Take it back to all fours and just feel gravity underneath you. Stay here. Maybe you move through a few rounds of cat and cow or a breath or two in child's pose, but call yourself back to your breath. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Good. After a few breaths, wherever you are, take your time, and we'll meet in downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. All right, as promised, we did it with the knees down. Now we'll explore just on the feet. So on your next inhale, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your hands and feet to the left and come into your wide-legged forward fold. One more time. A moment to catch your breath. Tiny bend in the knees so that they don't lock. Hug your feet in towards each other. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, soften the elbows as you bow in towards yourself. Now turn your right knee and toes to catch your lunge. Come high up onto your blocks or fingertips. And as we make our way into supported warrior 3, walk your blocks way far forward of the right foot. Lean into your blocks to lift your left leg up off the ground, just like you did on your hands and your knees. Now, as you lift the left foot up, flex the foot and straighten the knee. Less about how high the left hip can go, but can you wrap the left hip down, lift the outer right hip up. Now, broaden through the chest, lift your heart forward. Stay right here breathing, or with your left hand down on the block, bring your right hand to your right hip. Shrug your right shoulder to your ear, hug the right shoulder blade to your spine, and as you lift your left inner thigh 1 more inch, bend your left knee and flex the foot like you could raise the roof with your left heel. Stay here, or maybe your right hand reaches out and around to grab onto the left foot. Hug the right shoulder up and back. Push your foot back into your hand and lift the left heel high and let that revolve your belly to the sky. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale the long limbs. Release the hold of your legs. Soften your right knee and step it all the way back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Pedal the heels. Notice any difference that you feel. How'd that go? Hard. I heard you breathing in there. But big difference between knee down to knee up. Yes. One squeak of a yes. The tiny little demon in the outer right leg. Pedal the heels. Notice what you feel. Stay here breathing, or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together before. But wherever you go, moving around or staying still, let it be a full offering to your breath. A deeper breath in. And a longer, steadier breath out through every direction of your being. And we have the last side to try out. No rush at all. When you make your way to your down dog, float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your hands and feet to the right to come into that wide-legged forward fold on your second side. You can be here with your hands on the ground. If you want an optional shoulder stretch, you might interlace your hands at your low back. Bring the webbing of your hands together. And as you reach your knuckles off of your tush to the sky, let your head get heavier to the earth. Offer it to your breath. Take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now on your next inhale, release the hands back down to your tush. Turn the left knee and toes to catch your lunge. Come high up onto your blocks on either side of that left foot. And now slow and steady as needed. Walk your blocks way far forward. Lean into your blocks and lift your right leg up off the earth. Flex the right foot and straighten your right knee. It's less about how high the right leg can be, but how much can it steady you. Now push into the blocks and reach your chest long towards the front of the room. With your right hand steady on the block, bring your left palm to your low back or to your left hip. Shrug your left shoulder to your ear. Wrap your left shoulder blade to your spine, and here in twisted half moon, turn your belly and chest open to the left. Stay here, or you might bend your right knee, raise the roof with your right heel, and maybe your left hand reaches around for that right foot. Hug the right thigh an inch to the middle of your mat. Shrug the left shoulder up and back. And as you push your foot back into your hand, lift your right heel to the sky. Let that revolve your heart open to the left. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale to long limbs. Release the right foot. Soften your left knee. And step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Hips to the sky. Pedal the heels one at a time. Notice what you feel and see from side to side. And for our last down dog of class, wait for the next inhale to bring you forward to plank pose. On your exhale, lower down to your belly. Drink in that breath as you rise for cobra. Hug the shoulder blades towards each other. And on your exhale, take it back to tabletop, to your hands and your knees. Let's meet on our backs so you can flip on over. Let your head be to the top of your mat, your feet be to the wall behind you. Have your blocks close by. And have your therapy balls close by. If anyone needs any of those things, you can lay down, raise a hand, and I can definitely bring you some or any. But once you come to lay down onto your back, bend your knees, bring your feet onto the earth, and give your legs a hug in towards your belly or chest, an embrace. Make some circles in one or the other direction. You might lean ever so slightly side to side, but feel the back of your head, your upper back, and your lower back heavy onto the earth. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now release the hold of your legs down onto the earth. With your feet on the ground, bend your knees. We'll come into 3 rounds of backward bends. First round of bridge pose. Second round of bridge pose or upward facing bow. And then we'll all end in supported bridge to call ourselves back. So with your knees bent, feet on the ground, you might place one of those blocks in between your thighs so that your legs have something to hug into. Now bend your elbows and point your fingertips to the ceiling. So the triceps and the upper back can be heavy on the ground. Shrug your shoulders to the ears, snuggle the shoulder blades together. And as you push down and forward through your feet, lift your hips up to the sky as you hug the block. Wiggle the shoulder blades together onto the upper back. And then let the back of your head soften into the earth to lift your chin away from your chest, so there's space. You can keep your hands there. You can bring them long on either side of you and tug opposite edges of your mat to hug the shoulder blades towards each other. But take 2 full breaths as you hug the block between your thighs, push through your feet to lift your hips up. Hug the shoulder blades together to lift the back of your heart. 1 more breath in. And on your exhale, slowly release your arms, your hips to the earth. You can release the block from in between your thighs. And either windshield wiper your knees from side to side or knock your knees into each other to clear space in the low back and hips. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out. All right, round 2 out of 3. You can come into bridge pose once again. You can also be in supported bridge here. We'll meet you very soon. Or one more option to come into upward facing bow. I like the block between the thighs because it helps give the legs something to squeeze into so that you don't feel this in the low back as we start to head out. But if it doesn't work for you, you don't need to use it. But once the block comes where you need it, bend your knees, feet on the ground. Wait for your next inhale to lift your hips up to the sky into bridge. Wiggle the shoulder blades together to lift the back of your heart. And then let the head be heavy to lift your chin. Stay here. Or for upward facing bow, bring your hands by your ears with your palms as wide as your mat, fingertips facing your heels. And as you hug the block, push through your legs to come up to the top of your head. Push through the legs to maybe move the arms towards straight. As you take a big breath in and a longer breath out. Whenever you want to come out, you slowly lower down the same way you came in. Upper back to the earth, hips to the ground. You can ditch the block, knock your knees into each other, or windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Back bends have a tendency. They're thought to stimulate your adrenal glands, the one that lives above your kidneys in the back of your body. And among many things, the adrenal glands release adrenaline, norepinephrine, all of these things that increase our heart rate. So if you've ever felt the sensation after you bend over backwards, where the breath is shorter, where the heart is moving a little faster, there's a little more sweat, it's a natural response to what you're asking your body to do. But the question here is, can you call yourself back down to earth, to the fluency of your breath? Now, as we set up for the 3rd and final round, we'll all come into supported bridge with your feet on the ground, knees bent. Push through your feet just enough to lift your hips and slide that block to its lowest or second lowest height underneath your tush. Think less on the lumbar spine, the middle part of your spine, but more underneath the weight of your hips. And as you find a sweet spot, wiggle the shoulder blades towards one another. Let the back of your head soften to the earth. And let your arms fall anywhere they fall, alongside of you, on your body, as you listen for your breath once again. 3 slow, steady breaths at your pace. The story we'll talk more about next week is after the demons have been defeated, after they've been consumed, Kali, the ferocious, the one who rolled out her tongue to lap up all the blood, she couldn't contain herself. She went on a rampage. She continued to cause havoc, create chaos, and be in her unbridled rage in the middle of the battlefield until the divine masculine Shiva came and laid himself down on the earth in the middle of the field itself. And as she put her foot on him, it quite literally cooled her and brought her back to reality. So as you call yourself back down to the ground here, Can you feel the warm air as it comes in through the nose? And the air as it comes out through the nose or mouth to call yourself back down to earth. And now after 3 or 4 breaths here on the ground, press down through your feet to lift your hips up just as much as you need and slide those blocks out from underneath your hips. Windshield wiper your knees one at a time from side to side. Let the low back soften to the earth. Let the hips be heavy. Let the belly be soft and full as you call yourself back. And now I'll talk us through some therapy ball work in the upper back. But if there's any other region that you know how to do, that your body desires, please feel free to take this time to work at your pace. You can also set up early for rest. We'll meet you there very shortly after. But if you'd like to roll the upper back out, you can keep those therapy balls in their tote or feel free to take them out. But lift your head and shoulders up off of the ground, and from the upper back, pop the therapy balls in between your shoulder blades to either side of your spine. They'll come into that fleshy space between the bones of your shoulder blades, into the trapezius, into the rhomboids. And once you find a sweet spot, you can bring your head down onto the ground. Or if you'd like to alleviate some pressure, you can bring your head up onto a block. Because the goal here is not to be in a place where it feels the most sensational, the most breath shortening, but where you can feel the full depth of your breath. As you let your arms fall anywhere they fall, take a long, full breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let all of that breath go. There's so much to do with your arms heavy on you or alongside of you. Or to explore some gentle movement, you might slowly reach your arms straight up to the ceiling. If you get there and you're like, nope, just let the arms rest anywhere along you. But if the arms are lifted, you might stretch your fingertips 1 or 2 more inches to touch the sky. Feel the shoulder blades widen. And then soften the shoulder blades towards each other as the upper back gets heavy. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. Big inhales in. And exhales to let the shoulder blades soften. Now after a few breaths here in the upper back, lower those arms alongside of you. With your knees bent, feet on the ground, push through your feet just enough to roll your body towards your head until you feel those therapy balls come down your back to the middle of the shoulder blades. Slightly lower than where they just were. You might bring your block with you as you let your arms release down by your sides. Take a big breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let all of that breath go. Again, plenty to do here with your arms heavy alongside of you. Or if you want to explore any gentle movement, you might reach your arms straight up to the sky once again. They might move like seaweed in water from side to side. Or one arm might reach overhead as the other arm reaches to the sky and vice versa. But let it all be an offering to the breath, a bigger breath in. And even open your mouth to let all of that breath go. After a few breaths here, let your arms release down by your sides. And then one more time, press through your feet to roll your body north until those therapy balls come south to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, ever so slightly lower than where they just were. Once you find this third new place, take a big breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let all of that breath go. You can stay right here, or you might reach your arms up to the sky and give yourself a hug as if your hands are reaching for the therapy balls behind your back. but let the palms be soft, let the fingers be soft. You might lean a little from side to side. If you are giving yourself that hug, you might switch which elbow is on top and see what a difference makes. As you find a longer breath in and a big exhale out. And then unwrap your arms if they're wrapped around you. Release any blocks out from underneath you, and we'll make that slow journey out. Begin to scooch your hips towards your heels and roll yourself towards the back of your mat so you feel those therapy balls come up your back. Sometimes they take clothes with you. If they do, you can just roll to one side and push them out of the way. But however they exit, do let them fully come out for the remainder of rest. For occasionally, if they stay in for Shavasana, they create more tightness than softening. And as you drape your upper back onto the earth, the memory of where those therapy balls were. Take this time to notice what you don't see with your eyes, but you so clearly feel. And the next place we'll meet is we'll make our way towards rest. So give yourself a moment or two to take what you need. You might add or remove any layers or props. You might let your hair down. You might let glasses set off to the side. But if there's anything you can do for yourself to become even 2% more comfortable than you are in this moment, please feel free to take it. And know that you're more than welcome to stay here or adjust or move at any point throughout our rest. But I'll talk you through a few rounds of pranayama, of some breath work to prepare the body for rest and to slow yourself down. You're more than welcome to just listen or sing along or practice along at your pace. But for this viloma pranayama, this gentle suspension of each breath, start by taking a long breath in through the nose and exhale all of that breath out. Take another full breath in, fill your belly, fill up into your chest, and exhale to let all of that breath go. And now picture your next inhale in 3 separate parts. First inhale, just breathe into your belly. Pause. Next inhale, breathe into your chest and into your lungs. Hold here. Third inhale, breathe into the heart. Pause at the top. And then exhale through your nose to let all of that breath go. Following your pace more than my voice. Inhale to fill the belly, retain. Fill the lungs next, hold. Fill the back and front of your heart, pause. And as you exhale through your nose, let every drop of that breath go. Hold at the bottom for a moment as you begin again. Inhale to fill the belly, fill the lungs, fill the back and front of your heart, and exhale through your nose to let all of that breath out. 2 more times, following your pace. Inhale, the belly fills, retain. The lungs fill next. Hold. Fill the back and front of your heart. Pause. And exhale to let all of that breath go. Last round. Inhale to fill your belly. Retain. Fill your lungs. Hold. Fill the back and front of your chest. Pause. And exhale through your nose to offer that breath out. Now, without any holds or pauses, take a breath to fill your belly, your heart, your throat, up into the crown of your head. And exhale to let every ounce of that breath out. Begin to find the slow, rhythmic cadence of your breath. And it's here where each breath that you take slowly dissolves the practice that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. So as each one of your inhales becomes an offering to this divine breath, her exhale. And every time this divine energy exhales, she pours herself into you. Can you let every round of your breath let you become heavier into the ground? And the heavier you let yourself become, the more expansive, the more spacious, and the lighter you may just begin to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let the breath that you have begin to awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that just feels sweet to you. You might slowly roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against the earth. Or just watching for those around you and any props. You might reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. Whenever you're ready, we'll all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead, as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. Take a breath or two here against the earth. And as you push down into the ground, take your time to come up to rise to a tall seat, the same way we began. And with those eyes softly closed or softly open, can you once again listen for your breath? Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through every direction of you. We'll finish our time together with one more of those same breaths. You can place your hands to center anywhere that feels for you. As you take a deep breath in, to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple yet sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to each other who practiced right alongside with you. And with all of our hearts, Kayla and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Great to be with you. So sweet to see you all and meet some new folks. Drink water, take care of yourselves, allergy meds, all the things. If there's any things that you use from the studio, there's some wipes here in the corner. You can wipe things off if you'd like. And then the studio announcement that I have is this Saturday and Sunday. It's all virtual, but if you have interest in any of the mythology or stories that we share at the studio, one of our teachers, Rupa, is coming in from India, and she's retranslated all of the texts that we talk about in yoga practice and training in the perspective of kids and young adults, which is the best way to learn about them when it's like not part of your daily life or culture. So she zooms in from India on Saturday or Sunday. Those are recorded, and this will be the 5th year that I'm hearing her, and she is a gift from the gods themselves. So if you're free, come through. And then my beloved Adriana starts her pranayama practice group at the end of October. It's all virtual, it's in the mornings. It's a great way to set up breath practice for fall and winter, and also those sessions are recorded. So if you have questions about it, she'd love to answer them when she's around. And I think that's it. What else do you have? Anyone else have things you're seeing, that you want to share? It's October. Halloween's next week? 2 weeks. 2 weeks, okay. Yee, sorry. Anyone doing anything for it? Yes. What's that? Oh, fun. Okay. Well, I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you. Yay. Thank you.
There's this one star looking down.
I know, but it's so bright.
Oh my goodness.
It's so bright. We're watching.